For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heedy Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Okay, so I'm back. Part one, I was getting into a rant, and by the way, this is a Heedy post-game show. I'm sorry, I was on my hands and knees cleaning up some blood. My dad, literally spritzed out of his vein again. That's what happens to elderly people when they get up in age. Their veins, at least with my dad, they are on the freaking top of his skin. He nicks it. I mean, I don't know how he did it this time. He bled a lot the other day, and I had to take care of that. And then right now he was freaking out. Went over there, and he's fine. Just I had to wrap it up again. So that's why I apologize for leaving. But you got to take care of family first, and he's good. Just a little just not understanding how it could happen. But I told him, I'm like, dude, your veins are right there. He was like, I didn't hit it on anything. I said, dude, it's literally your feet are just so veiny, and you could have just been scrubbing too hard with the towel, and it was squirting, dude, he got stabbed. So, but it wasn't as much blood as last time, but I did have to go in there and clean up some stuff. So apparently I'm good at cleaning up crime scenes, but he's okay. So I want to get on here on the Heedy post game show, because we're by the fans, for the fans, for the fans, by the fans. We're in the stands with you. We're not like Locked On Cox. We don't lie about our fandom. We are real fans, and we go to games, and we've been watching this team all year. And basically what I was saying before I had to leave to take care of my dad is the fact that, you could look from the top to the bottom, and this team is a joke. They are a tough watch. They don't deserve us as fans. And I've been saying that for such a long time. That again, it comes from the top. And again, a lot of you want Artie gone as much as I do, but he's not going anywhere right now unless some really big shit happens before the end of the year. And if it doesn't happen, then we're stuck with Artie, and all we could hope is that he fires everybody, and that maybe we could turn this thing around with some people that he can actually give the keys to the car to and let them run things. It's a hard watch when you see base. Like, for instance, I went to a 66ers game just the other night, yesterday to be in fact, and the Sixers played with hunger. There was not the kind of swing for the fences stuff. And you would say, okay, Todd, that's because that's a single A team. You don't swing for the fences. Not true. Not true. There are a lot of teams that will still swing for the fences, or that they'll do things stupid, right? Now, during this game, it was 2-1 for the most part to the sixth inning. And then they started playing small ball. They adjusted, stuff that we've been yelling at the big league team to do for some time. And what happened? They scored 7 runs, and they wound up blowing out the other team. So you go from a team that had a record of something like 16-48 in the first half, worst in all of single A baseball, to one of the best records in all of minor league baseball in the second half. And this team is poised to make a deep playoff run and possibly win a single A championship. Now, you could say you can't put single A up against major leagues. That's true. They're very different games altogether. I played single A as well. The problem is baseball is baseball. yes, the levels get greater, they get harder, people get better, and as the levels go up. But the thing is, the premise of the game, if it's played the right way, is the same. It's just, the athletes are different because they're much, much better the higher the level you go. The problem I have with this organization on the mainstream level, again, before I got cut off and we had to go take care of my dad, was I was explaining the fact that you can lose to any team on any given night. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Dodgers are supposed to be the best team money can buy. They got swept by the Pirates. They got swept by us. We're supposed to be better than the Rockies. They're probably going to sweep us. We've been beaten by the A's. We've been beaten by other trash teams all season long. Players don't show up. This team. It's not just that they're not talented enough. And again, I was watching a video about Brody Brazil, and Brody Brazil came out there and said nothing to put the finger at Artie Moreno. And he just said that the Angels have had bad luck. They have not been able to acquire land. And he had all these excuses. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? Like literally, what organization, what team are you watching? Did you do any kind of research for this franchise? Do you not know? I mean, not once did he mention analytics. Not once did he mention the desire and the push of Mike Trout not being there, the leadership not being there. He never mentioned anything. And that's the problem I have with mainstream media. I have a big problem with that. Because you can watch the MLB Network and they'll be like, "Hey, live from Anaheim. Here's the this is before the starting lineups are out there. Look at the Angels walking around. They're taking batting practice." No, they're not. They don't take proper batting practice. You don't see them running the track. You don't see them fielding ground balls. You don't see them trying to drag bunt. None of that. But you see that throughout the minor leagues. But when it gets here, it doesn't matter who we're going to hire. I have tried to put my glasses on, and what pissed me off is fucking Val gets on here. She's all over social media, and the one fucking time she gets on here to talk trash or to tell me to stop being a hater, because she's always, whenever someone tells the truth, stop being a hater. She said last year, and I had a response with her on social media. She goes, "Oh, the Angels aren't in last place." I showed her a fucking screenshot of the Angels in last place, and she's like, "No, we're not." The fuck are you looking at? At that point, I just was like, "Nah, this she's not worth my time." But she is the poster child for the AM 830 propaganda. So you do still have a huge contingent of fans that will still go to watch the A's versus Angels, that will still go to see the Angels play anybody. Like, I walked in and walked out. I got my fucking cooler and I left. Why am I going to go watch an inferior product? And it's not because of the money they put into the team. Well, Todd, they spent 3 times the amount of the money. See, there you go right there. This team is amazing. Love my Angels, win or lose. I'll be there at the game tomorrow and we will win. Light that baby up. That's your problem. Right there. That's your problem. Because no matter how much, I mean, I don't understand you, Val. You can't continue to paint a turd. If a turd's a turd, a turd's a turd. That's what it is. You could paint it angel red all you want. You could put Christmas ornaments on it on June. It's still a turd. It just depends if it's a flaming hot turd or it's a turd that's been out in the sun too long. That's it. How can you watch a team like this play Oakland / Sacramento / Vegas? You spot them 2 runs in the first inning. Soriano gives up 2 runs, looks like ass early, again, because he can't pitch at home for whatever reason. He pitches phenomenal on the road. At home, he sucks. You then score 4 runs because you have the pitcher on the ropes. How many times have we said that this year? The Angels have a pitcher on the ropes, and they don't adjust. They don't go for the kill shot. They score 4 runs. And you're thinking, okay, 4-2, not bad. They proceed to give up 7 runs after that. And what do they do the rest of the game? because there's shitty analytics and the coaching staff that does not know anything from anybody, but it's mostly the analytics. They get one hit against Major League Baseball's worst pitching staff the rest of the game. One hit. Why can't you try a bunt? Why can't you try anything? Again, no, Soriano does not suck. He's our best pitcher. Stop being so negative. Stop being so negative. That is, again, the only reason. Vote for Bonds. She's for real. She is AM 830 to the extreme. She's Roger Lodge, Trent Rush, and Artie Moreno's love child. I swear to God. At some point you have to say this team is an ass fire. I mean, is a dumpster fire. It's terrible. It literally needs an enema from the organization's bottom all the way up, because there's no other way to do it. The Angels are a terrible team right now. They're embarrassing to watch. We cover this team every fucking night. Every night. I watch this team just play. They have so much talent on it if it was utilized right. And some of you have given me the most awesome compliments of, man, we wish you could run the team. Man, I wish you could talk to the guys and let them know what's going on. And I wish I could, because it's not a hard fix. I'd go in there and I'd save this team probably $2 to $3 million combined on what they're paying those asshats like Sauerbond, the analytics idiot, and all his cronies, all those nerds that have soiled the name of Joe Madden, had made Phil Nevin look like he never threw a baseball, and made Ron Washington look like an inferior manager. That's all of our analytics. If I was a GM, if I was the owner or Dennis Kuhl, I would hire a straight up analytics crew, because you got to have analytics in today's baseball. A crew that actually valued men getting on base, working walks, getting hits. I want a guy, look, give me a 270 hitter. And I told this to EQ earlier when we talked. Give me a 270 hitter with 9 home runs and 50 RBIs and a good on-base percentage and a dude that gets occasional steals. I'll take that guy over a 35 home run guy with 100 RBIs who bats 220 or less and strikes out 200 times a year. I'm sick and tired of watching stupid, useless solo home runs. And we're supposed to just be like, yeah, baby, solo home runs. Light that baby. Oh, no, we can't light that baby up because those solo home runs kill innings. And those solo home runs, the other night we could hit 3, but we give up 5. If you're not hitting home runs with guys on base, it's useless to a point. Yeah, you're going to need some every now and then, but when all your home runs are solo home runs, well, guess what? You don't score many runs. There's a reason why the Angels have 100 or more less runs than the next competitive team that's either right in the wild card chase or in the wild card chase itself. Because the whole point of this game is to score runs. The whole point. Yet we have an analytics, I want to call him every name in the book. That Sauerbond guy from Boston doesn't know shit. He never played baseball in his life. He may have played a video game or two, but this idiot values, for whatever reason, home runs. And in the analytics, because again, there is no Bible to analytics. Analytics is what you interpret it to be. So, meaning what your organization values is what they're going to lean towards. what the analytics will tell it to do. So if you have a analytics group like the one we have that does not value on base percentage, that does not value hits, like singles are probably frowned upon. They don't like bunts at all. You watch so many games where Wayne's like, I don't like this bunt right here. And Gooby's like, hey, he should swing away. No, you should bunt, move the guy over. Again, no need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is baseball. It's been proven for over 150 years. If you play the game right, you will win. If you do all this meaningless, stupid shit, you're going to lose. And this franchise values the dumbest shit out there. And we're supposed to just be like, yeah, woo! I love losing 9-2. I love scoring 4 runs in the first inning and getting a hit the rest of the game. I love watching my superstar, who we can't get him to adjust his swing, be stuck on 398 when he should be chasing 550, 600. But no, he's been injured too much. He has a skin condition. Taylor Ward, for as much shit as I give him, runs into a wall, gets 20 stitches, and is out 1 game. Mike Trout, skin disease or skin irritation. Skin irritation. Put some ointment on it and get your ass in the field. We're paying you $38 million. No, you can't do that. You can't tell him that. He's a superstar. Superstar. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of his ego. He's got to go too. But guess what? We're stuck with him. Thank you, Artie. There's no way to get rid of him. No one would take him. Who would take his ass right now? A guy who can't hit a 93-mile-per-hour fastball is a quarter of a second behind on a swing. You say, that's not a lot, Todd. That's a lot. To be a quarter of a second behind a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. And all because he won't change his swing. Because he's not 24-year-old Mike Trout. Not 29-year-old either. You can't be a leader if you can't lead. He doesn't lead by his ability on the field. He does not lead with his in the dugout mindset as well. If you take the off season as, hey, I'm going to go golf with Tiger Woods and go hang out with some important friends. I'm going to go to Eagles playoff games and Super Bowl. That's your off-season workout. That's your dedication to the game that you're getting paid outrageously disgusting money. That's going to trickle down to everybody else. There's a reason why fucking Neto is your fucking leader on this team. There's a reason why people look up to him as short as he is. Because he's a gamer. He cares. You could tell who cares on this franchise, and you could tell who doesn't give 2 shits. Val Hartley, Roger Lodge, Mike Trout, Artie Moreno are all the same people. Consume the product. Don't worry about it. Just consume the next product. That's all it is. Everything's fine. Everything's beautiful. Isn't the Big A fantastic as it crumbles and falls apart? Isn't it fantastic, the giveaways they have? And again, I went to the game to pick up a giveaway. Did I stay for the game? Hell no. I went home and watched football. But I had the game on my goddamn phone. Because why? I'm torturing myself, and I cover this goddamn team. Krusty says, hey, but Disneyland's right down the street. Don't worry about that, Krusty. They will have the OC vibe to intertwine all 3. Vote for Bonds. It is frustrating to watch because unless something happens in this off season, I don't understand or don't think for a minute, I should say, that there will be any change next season. If the same idiots are in place, nothing will change. Again, Joe Adell's having a nice season. No ifs, ands, or buts. I think Joe Adell could have a better season if he wasn't playing through a injury, which he's going to need some therapy for in the offseason. Thankfully, no surgery. However, he does still strike out too much. Has he gotten better? Yes. Could he be better? Absolutely. He could be a 270 hitter, 275 hitter. He could have 45 home runs and not strike out as much if you valued contact. He's a kind of guy who has put in the time and effort to make contact and hit one out on accident. So he could do that. I've watched baseball all my life and have seen guys who can put in the numbers. And again, I value on base percentage, walks, limiting, not strikeouts like we do, but limiting the amount of strikeouts. I like small ball, love small ball. If this team were to adopt it, would be amazing. Ombre from heaven says Trout washed. Yes. As of right now, if you can't put your ego aside for a moment and change your swing, the game will kick you out. You're not going to leave on your own terms. And that's what I'm afraid of, what's going to happen to Trout. I want him to be comeback player of the year. I've said it many times. But he's not the way he is right now. His dedication, his swing is nowhere close for him to deserve that 3 or 4 hole. Right now, he should be batting 7th or 8th. And even then, I don't think so. I really, really want other guys to ascend and get better on this team. If he's not willing to change, then get the hell out of the way. And Jerry says, I don't know how the front office doesn't see what we're seeing and make the change. Because they don't care. And that's the thing that makes me so angry. They don't care what we think. It's hard because you see players that do want to win and do things for the fans that care about the Vals of the world, the vote for Bonds. Michael Gibby, again, is one of the most passionate fans online, but he's been jaded and he's upset. And I don't shit on him for that because that's the way he's shown his fandom. Like he could easily just say, fuck this team and walk away like a lot of people have. Because they're giving us the middle finger all the time. So it's hard to stick with this team at times. It really is. Because you just see the problems right away. I mean, if you don't want to look at Artie as the major problem, which he is, look at the analytics, how it's ruined this team, how Louis Renifo thinks he's a home run hitter, how if you just changed Ohapi's swing because he's standing on his tippy toes to swing for the fences, that's no bueno. That's never going to get you anything. And again, a lot of these guys, if not everyone on this team except Rendon, can get base hits if they really, really wanted to. And just, if they worked at it, they could do it. That's why they're here. But as soon as they get here, we have the bullshit analytics telling them to do exactly what they haven't done to get here. And then you ruin the pitchers too. You say, oh, you've been starting all through your, through your high school career, your college career, your, through the minors. Okay, you're going to go in here for a couple innings in the bullpen. That doesn't help anything. Why are we doing that? Or we did what we did with Soriano last year. Oh, you're going to be our magical 7th and 8th inning guy. We're going to pitch you 2 innings every night. Immediately they stopped doing that two nights into it. They're like, oh, you can't pitch back to back to back. Because analytics tells you that. But every other team, Jansen, how many times do you hear stupid Wayne say, oh, Jansen pitched 4 times in a row last year with Boston. He did it a lot of times with Dodgers. He did this, he did. Well, we can't do that here, though, because analytics tells us not to. after 2 nights. And they say, oh, well, it limits injuries. Last time I checked, we've had a shit ton of injuries in the pitching staff. Is it helping? I think, and hear me out on this one. So this team has had injury problems before, a lot, whether it's starters, relievers, what have you, right? Maybe, just maybe, they need to work in the contract to have a personal trainer with them in the off season, a couple times a week, work with them. Or if they're out of town on vacation, I mean, literally think about this, folks. I'm paying you $38 fucking million. You're or even $10 million. Your company that you work for ask you to take a piss test whenever they want to, can invade your privacy with cameras in your vehicle or their work vehicle because you signed a contract allowing them to check on you, to make sure that you follow their rules year round, and you make a fraction of what these assholes are making. And you have to do your 9 to 5 every fucking day. And if they ask you to do something different, you got to go with it, else you lose your job, correct? Baseball is a completely different thing. However, if you're told you need to stay in shape, then by God, as long as you're under that contract, you better stay in shape. You better not look like Jock Peterson, because that guy's a fat ass. But I will say this. Pitchers, some pitchers that I know personally, that I played with, would not last in this era. Because, in a good way, they would develop bad habits like the players do this year, like in this league. The hungry ones that don't have the injuries, in my opinion, I know freak things happen. I know accidents happen, pops happen or whatever in your arm and elbow. However, when players show dedication in the offseason to work out their arms, especially pitchers, and they don't wait till pitchers and catchers report. Because again, you can lift weights all you want. You could throw soft toss and you could throw against the wall, but if you don't have someone there catching you, making sure you have the right spin, that's why the players who actually do good and their careers elevate or they stay elevated, they're the ones that people laugh at and say, man, why did he pitch in Japan in the offseason? Why did he pitch in the World Baseball Classic? Why did he pitch in winter ball? Because he wants to stay good. He wants to stay competitive. He wants to keep his arm loose. The trauma you put on your arm throwing 90 plus, and then you're going to do that for about 6 to 9 months and then just up and stop. Take a couple months off and then come back after lifting some weights. That's all you're doing. You're not throwing and keeping the rotation going in your arm and your elbow and your shoulder. And you expect everything to just be hunky-dory when you return to pitchers and catchers in February? That's why there's so many arm issues. And that's, again, a product of this fucking organization. They're not on their guys. Same thing with the hitters. You'd be lifting weights. Mike Trout, I've seen videos of him pushing a goddamn tractor tire. What good does that do? Does that tractor tire help him during the game? No. Does it help him look bigger and stronger? Yes. Does it inhibit his movement? Does it slow him down? I know a lot of bodybuilders and weightlifters who look very intimidating. But if you were to take them on in a fight, if you're fast enough to dodge their slow-ass punches, you can knock them the fuck out. You literally could. Because their upper body gets too big. You can't move fast. Especially the older you get. Trout. We've been saying for 3 years, you got to drop the weight, man. You got to drop the weight, and you got to stop lifting your leg when you swing. Keep your feet firmly planted and play off your back hip. Bring your shoulders down, bring your elbows down when you swing. Stop with the uppercut swing. You got enough power to hit it out whenever you want to, and it'll come accidentally once again. It's not rocket science, dude. People have been diagnosing baseball players, football players, hockey players, and NBA players for decades, amongst a century now. The science of the game has changed, but I think the science has fucked with players more than steroids ever did. At least with steroids, the players were freaking active. At least with steroids, the players were wanting to up their game. And there was I know it sounds bad, but players wanted to be better than the other guy. They wanted to hit the home runs. They wanted to look at the batting averages during the steroid era. Because you could say, oh, that's all they wanted to do was hit home runs. Look at the batting averages. And you had so many hitters that were hitting 330 and above. Now, because of analytics and because of franchises like ours, they don't value hits anymore. You don't have your Ichiros out there. You don't have your what was his name? Your Sean Figgins, your Darren Erstads, the guys who want to hit 300. You don't have that anymore. You literally have 5 to maybe 10 guys league wide who hit 300 when you used to be able to go up and down lineups throughout the majors. And it was weird to see a team that did not have at least one 300 hitter. You would see several teams who had 5 to 6 guys who were batting 300. And then you'd always make fun of the guy hitting 220 because you're like, man, that guy sucks. You can go after that guy. Now we have a whole team full of 220s and less. Our major star is batting 229. We strike out more than any team in baseball. The Angels have already set a franchise record with just under a month left to go with baseball on strikeouts. They're pathetic. We have witnessed 2 times this team strike out 18 times in a game. We have watched now 4 times the Angels strike out 16 times in a game. We've seen half a dozen times the team strike out 15 times in a game. Again, I've been preaching it all year. If the Angels can keep it under 10, which is high, they have a really good chance to win. Their odds go up. They really do. They have a better percentage of winning when they are putting the ball in play, like any team. It's nothing new. Yet they go right back to just free swinging at everything. So the league average at one point for strikeouts during a game, I think, was 6 or 7 this season. I think it's around 7.5 or something, the league average. I mean, the Angels are averaging 12 strikeouts per game. Averaging. It's nearly 5 more strikeouts than the league average. During the 2000s and late 1900s, which is weird, this team literally struck, or any team for that matter, would average strikeouts of about, I don't know, I think it was 3 to 6. But it was low. 6 was high. When you struck out 10 guys in a game, it was weird. You had your Kerry Woods who struck out 20 Astros one time. You had some guys that would, that were just phenomenal, like your Greg Mannix and all that stuff. Strike out 9 to 10 guys, right? But it wasn't like every team was striking out at the rate they are nowadays. Because nowadays, again, nobody gives a shit or values getting on base. The rare teams that do win games. It is hard to watch the other team put together good at bat after good at bat, get on base and do the right things just for us to go up there and be like strike one, strike two, strike three, strike one, strike two, strike three, strike one, strike two, strike three, or pop out, ground out. It's very, very hard to watch. And some people are like, is this team tanking on purpose? Are they going to move? No, we're locked in. You think he's going to leave when we're locked into 2032, number one? So that's at least another 6 years. You need 5 years or more to move a franchise. You need to spend almost $1 billion to the league to move the franchise. And then on top of that, he's got the land sitting there. Jay says, I wonder if anyone in the organization has used ChatGPT to fix this team. I'm telling you right now, anybody that's listening right now, I got several ways that this team could be fixed. Several. Like we talked about the other night. Is Soriano the ace? Hell no. Is he in a good number two? Hell no. Does he have ace and number two stuff? Yes. But he's not there. If you're losing to Oakland / Sacramento / Vegas at home as bad as he did tonight, you're not ready. But if you have Soriano where he's under no pressure in the 4th spot, Anderson 5th, you could have went out and got pitchers on the cheap. And in today's baseball, getting pitchers for $10 million or less, like Nick Pivetta, Jordan Montgomery, and a couple others, you could have got Bieber, something like that. That's a brand new rotation right there. That breeds confidence. I played on baseball teams where if a starter was coming out there and we knew he had good stuff, the team felt confident and they had a game plan. We were like, okay, we're going to attack this pitcher because we know that he likes to throw sliders to get ahead. And when he's ahead, he's not going to stay in the zone at all. He's going to get you to chase, or he's going to try to get you to chase a high heater or chase something outside. You have to look for certain things to try to break his tendencies. You, as hitters, you can establish yourself and establish the team's game plan as you move along. There's things that you could do, but all those things are thrown out the window when you have analytics just telling you, okay, that has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. We need guys to swing away in this inning. I mean, if you're not playing scenario to scenario, if you're not willing to adjust to the other team, if you're not willing to put in the effort and the scouting and all this other stuff that goes along with it, you're just never going to win. You're going to look like a dumpster fire like they've looked like the last couple of years. The team also has an identity issue. They're not known for power hitting team. They're not known. They're known for doing everything wrong. I mean, again, you have an opportunity to blow open this game in the first inning, and you still look at the at bat that d'Arnaud had. D'Arnaud's been told to swing for the fences. So when they throw him the sliders outside, if you look at the pitch comm, the pitches were all on the outside corner of the plate. He never tried to go the other way. He tried to pull the ball. And when you try to pull the ball on a slider or a curveball or a sweeper on the outside corner of the plate, all you're going to do is roll over the top of it. And if you're pulling it, it's just going to be a grounder, dude. At best, you're just going to pop the ball up into right field. Pisa says, your pop's good. Yes, he is. He just cut his foot again. He's got, he's 82 years old and he's got that what do you call it? The veins on the outs, they're just his veins. I mean, you can cut it with a butter knife, dude. And he bled all over the floor again. So I had to clean that up and I had to first bandage him up. But as soon as you put compression on there, he's good. So yeah, I appreciate you guys asking, but he's good now. I just told him, man, you really got to be careful. User says an ace and number 2 and a 3 along with Soriano Kikuchi, and we would be fine. Combine that with hitters. That's the thing, user. We have guys like Nelson Rada. Why did we draft a guy like that? He doesn't fit the stupid ass narrative that this franchise has. Nelson Rada is a Juan Pierre high on base percentage guy, does not value home runs. He values singles because he turns those into doubles. He turns doubles into triples. He steals bases. He's fantastic in the outfield. Yeah, he doesn't belong here. That's not what we value. But you're right. You put Soriano at 4 or 5, and you have Kikuchi at 4, and you put Nick Pivetta, who would be an ace on this team. Jordan Montgomery would be an ace on this team. Put another one of these free agents, Shane Bieber, in there. That's a nice rotation. Very nice rotation. Again, it breeds confidence when you have a pitcher that you could trust that goes out there. Trust me, I played on the teams. I've seen how things work. And then if you have a good game plan where you're not up there just free swinging and thinking that you're fucking Barry Bonds yourself. If you're up there for your partner, for your teammate, for the fans to try to do good and play as a team, you're gonna win. I mean, it's not rocket science, man. Just like user just put it, as I say, do that and the drought is over. It's not rocket science. We can make the playoffs. And that's with shitty game plans too. That's just with a good pitching staff, because the bullpen has shown, as much as some people like to talk shit, which I never understood from this fan base, the bullpen has been, you can say, well, the stats don't say that, but it's been like a bend but don't break pitching staff. The bullpen has put guys on. They've given up the solo home runs, but they've kept you in the game. When we lost to Kansas City the other night, listen, bullpen pitchers are going to give up a run or two here and there. But if you stop scoring after the first inning, that's on the hitting. I'm sorry, that's on the hitting. Tonight's on the hitting. But Todd, they give up 10 runs, but you didn't do shit. It's like the first inning was over and they were like, it's okay. It's okay. They didn't do nothing. So even if Soriano's getting beat up, show some pride and try to put something together, get a couple guys on, score a couple runs, chip away. Chip fucking away. They don't do that. It's just, no, I want to be a hero. I'm going to hit a home run. Trust me, coach, I got this. Why? Oh, because the analytics, Sauerbrunn, the guy from Boston and his cronies told me to. Okay. Honest opinion, do you think we get an number 1 and or number 2 or a 3 in the coming year? It's hard to say, man. Every time I think about what this team should do, they don't do it. Every time I think, oh, they can't possibly do that, they do it. I don't understand. And again, I want to see some movement in the offseason with the ownership. But maybe I'm getting too happy. I don't want to be disappointed again. I'm tired of watching this bad baseball. I never made it to the majors, but I played in the minor leagues. I had friends who finished their careers already. And hearing their stories, it's like, and they're like, man, you're an Angels fan? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember you being an Angels fan even back then. Yeah, uh-huh. And they're telling me from their outside view, because they watch baseball just as a fan now, on how the game has changed and how they could not coach with nerds breathing down their necks, trying to tell them how to play when they never have played baseball at all. Trying to like move them around like they're pawns on a chessboard. It's so disgusting to see how analytics have fucked with our great game of baseball. Because the Angels are the most infected out of any team that I've seen. I want them to get a few, because again, we have been screaming for years as a fan base. We need starting pitching. We need starting pitching. We need starting pitching. We need starting pitching. Falls on deaf ears. They don't care what I think, and they really don't care what you think. They really don't care what you think. Because if they did, they would have addressed it. Hell, we don't even have like literally we can't go over there and say, well, we have an Anthony Rendon as a pitcher, because we spent a lot of money on this guy and he didn't pan out. No, we don't even try to fuck up in free agency when it comes to pitching. We don't even try. They don't even try to get a pitcher. Oh, but Todd, they spent $24 million on Kikuchi. That's a drop in the bucket. That's nothing. You could have got Pivetta for less than $10 million for 1 year. Oh, but they spent $24 million on Stevenson. Arm issues. It's not the same thing. When have they actually gone after a real ace, a real number two? Kikuchi, I don't care how good he pitched. He is not an ace. But we got Kyle Hendricks. Yeah. You guys know it. But this team, I can't believe Mike Trout went out with a skin rash. Yeah. Again, like I said earlier, throw some ointment on it. Why the hell is he not out there trying to play? I'm tired of the bargain basement. Urena is a good pitcher. He's decent. But we've seen the same song and dance. We don't have we don't have any kind of aces that we can go out there and say that's our guy. We're losing. We've lost 3 in a row. Our ace is up there. Feel good about it. So that's one thing. I hate the Dodgers. I hate them with all my heart. Can't stand them. Would rather watch any other team win. If Communist China had a baseball team, go China. If North Korea had a team, go North Korea versus the Dodgers. Right? Go Russia. But the one thing I will give them is that Kershaw, as much as I hate the guy, you can say, well, he's been a humanitarian guy. He's done that. I don't give a shit what he does off the field. That's great. As a baseball player, I can't stand the guy. Can't stand him. But the Dodgers have had that luxury of knowing that when he was, at least in the regular season, because we all know he's like the Angels in the postseason. He's ass. But when the Dodgers needed him to end a losing streak during the regular season, because I have to put that asterisk there, he is one of the best regular season pitchers I've ever seen. He can literally shut down everybody. But come postseason, that guy, I could probably hit a home run off of him, or at least get a single. But it's just, even Jared Weaver wasn't that guy. Jared Weaver was a nice pitcher, franchise pitcher, should have his number retired, or at least be in the Angels Hall of Fame. I think he is. I'm not sure. But he was no game stopper. He was no Randy Johnson, Kershaw, no Greg Maddux, no Roger Clemens, nothing like that. When have the Angels, outside of Nolan Ryan, ever had good pitching? This franchise never values aces or starting pitching. I mean, I can't spell it out for you more than I have for other fans and other podcasts when they ask me to come on to talk about the Angels. Garrett Cole, yes, is injured this year. First year since signing with the Yankees that he's been hurt. We had every opportunity to get him. And what sums up the Angels franchise is you get a guy like that. It's a game changer. It's a franchise changer. He's going to, just by being Garrett Cole, he's going to attract people to this market to play here, to watch this team. He's going to dominate. He's going to set the tone for the rest of this team. He's going to elevate the other pitchers on the staff to be better. Nope, can't do that. We got to let him go to the Yankees. Some stupid honks still come out there. Oh, he wanted to play on the East Coast. Money talks and bullshit walks. If you pony up the money, he would have stayed. He would have came. I don't want to hear it. The league, the fucking The fucking, you know how much the league got on Jared Weaver for taking that pay cut and staying here? Scott Boras was so pissed off that he took a pay cut and didn't leave Anaheim. The players' union would have been all over Garrett Cole if he took a pay cut to go to the Yankees. He would not have done that. He would have came here. Yet what happened? What happened? The Angels and their brilliance was like, can't get Garrett Cole. There's other starters on the market, not as good as Cole, but they could be game changers themselves. But the next available player is Anthony Rendon. That guy's a World Series MVP guy. Yeah, let's go with that. So the same amount of money they were going to offer Garrett Cole, supposedly, they offered number 6, and number 6 has done nothing but just shove shit in your face, disrespect the game that you love and watch and that you played, does not care about you whatsoever, not even faking it like some of these players. Because at least if you fake it, you'd be like, oh, that's my guy, but deep down, maybe he hates you. But that is the first player that has said openly, I hate this game. It's boring. I'm just good at it. And I like making money. And he got killed for saying that he loved God and his family. There's nothing wrong with that. But you still have to go out there and say, I love doing my job. I love playing for the fans. I love seeing the kids happy. I like the smell of hot dogs and popcorn when I'm playing out there. Just lie. But no, he told the truth. And that, again, goes back to the Angels not doing their homework, not realizing that this guy right here, number 6, is a piece of shit. You see, and the NFL doesn't do it perfect, but they will say when they're drafting somebody, they'll go meet their school teachers in junior high and high school. They'll meet their best friends, the girls they dated, because they want to know what's this guy made of. We're investing money, not even close to the money that the baseball teams and NBA players do and get. No, but they know they have a pretty good investment in this player. And if they know that he's a well-rounded guy, plus because from all these football teams know is that, well, this guy can hit really hard. He's really fast at the 40. He seems like he wants to win. He seems to have that dog in him. But they go the extra mile and say, well, let's find out who he really is. We don't want this guy shooting himself. We don't want CTE issues. We don't want a guy who's abusive to his girlfriend. We don't want somebody who wasn't raised in a good family. We don't want somebody who has anger issues. And the Angels don't even do that, dude. They don't even do their homework to find out who they have. So by not doing that, you're not creating a culture. You're not creating this, hey, we want to play for the Angels. This team is, this is how we do things here in Anaheim. We want these type of players. There is no these type of players because you've not set that as the culture that you need. You didn't set that as a priority to have people that fit your mold, no matter if they're from Cuba, Dominican Republic, Mexico, California, New York. It doesn't matter where they're from. I don't care where they're from. I care that they have the same goals to win as any other player out there. I don't care who they're into. I care that they're a good person, that they're not going to blow up on anybody in the clubhouse, obviously. But you want them to have the same desire, the same goals, the same culture. And the Angels have done a shit job, too, of not building a culture. So when I do see some of the players after the rare wins that we get walk off the field with their hats turned backwards, there's something there. It's a start. There is some sort of camaraderie there, but we just don't have that it factor. We don't have the right analytics or we have too much of it. We don't have the right people in place. It's not, you can't point to one thing that's wrong with this team. I don't have enough fingers or toes to point to all the problems that surround this team. Like, it would be nice to knock off a few, like take away like 4 or 5 problems, but you still have like 15 to 20 other problems over there in the other area, some bigger than others, but they all affect the Angels' will, the culture, the everything. So that's why I say, you really, if someone really wants to change this team, and let's just say Artie were to say, and the last thing I'll get on this before I get into all the comments, if someone really wanted to change this team, they would be allowed to just go in there and put their stamp on it, get their right people, have a direction. Everyone on the board, everyone that has anything to do with the team is going to be on the same direction as the one leader, and that's it. Do you believe Manassian and Artie when they say they have a plan for 2026? Nope. Nope. He should be fired. Artie should walk away. They don't know how to run baseball. Marty says we're so back. Oh, wait, we're not. EQ says, yeah, that game, that was a game where it just sucked. Also, fuck Val's positive ass. Yeah, she dipped from the stream a while ago. I will give my best to Papa Fox. Also, dude, to come back after a family emergency on a day we fucking lost the shitty A's. That's Todd, you're committed. I try to be. Papa Fox's foot beat Mateo at the spritzer clock. This is why I respect the show. I appreciate that right there. Congratulations, Mateo. They won 42-0. Value loves Gavin's nut, or Val loves Gavin's nut. See, Rally Chris is already in Charger football land. Tony C said, like you said, Trout never works out in the offseason any longer. That is why Trout is declining more and more. Share and hit the like button. Fuck Artie, great job as always. Artie is out of here. Thank you, Tony C, for the super sticker. Demetro says Trout never became the kingfish number 2. Instead, he started stinking like fish fetch. Kylo says watching this team is very, very hard. It's hard. I think he's referencing this one. That'll give me a second to take a drink of my drink.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area.
I got my friend here in my bedroom, my childhood house, and I really, really, really want that.
How about a yummy tasting nut?
I got to bend over and find it. I know he's front and center. Why not pull it out so you guys can see it? But looks good from behind too. Oh my goodness.
It's hard. It's hard. Oh man, it feels great. Oh, yummy. Oh, how about a yummy? Oh, come on, magic. Oh my goodness, guys, tasting nut.
That's Locked On Cox right there. Big says, I always say it, if we don't get an ace in the offseason, at least sign 2 decent guys to make up for it. They can't even do that. They can't even do that. Again, Jordan Montgomery, Nick Pivetta, those 2 guys alone on 1-year deals were less than $20 million. Less than what you paid Kikuchi. Man, we were so bad you lost the AS at least, or lost to the A's. At least football is back. Yeah. Enjoy the NFL this weekend and college football, because we are in the dog days of summer, especially with Angels baseball here. Angels are terrible. They have a new facility in Arizona. They need to put that facility to good use. I think the Angels should make Torrey Hunter or Benji Gill an outside chance with Albert, the new manager. Artie needs to get a minority ownership. He needs to really sell the team. If not the whole thing, just pieces to get other people in here. Do you believe it that we might sign Bieber next season? I do, but it's 2 or 3 years too late. Hope your quarterback is okay, Mateo. DJ says positive note. Tedesco looks smooth out there. Also, Daniel Brito says doesn't matter. Soriano can't win at home. Yeah, they're not winning anything anyway right now at this point. Ward's only production came with a bases loaded walk, and where he looked at 5 strikes. Yeah, and that's how they got some runs. Otherwise, they strike out again. At what point do the Angels commit fully to building around Neto, Ohapi, and Adele instead of trying to patchwork veterans? It should have been last year, but they're not doing it still. Otani was an ace. I mean, yes, great. No, he was not an ace because he couldn't pitch long enough to be an ace. To be an ace, you need to be consistent. Tell me when, Mateo, that between the starts that he did have that were good, the times that he just took off because he had a blister, he didn't want to pitch in humidity, he backed guys up because he wanted a 6-man rotation, he fucked with Sandoval, he fucked with Canning. That guy was a super diva, and still is. Possibly a gambler. Can't say for sure. But Otani was nowhere close to being an ace. He had ace stuff, but he can never stay healthy. And look at, lo and behold, signs almost $1 billion contract, still is not giving the Dodgers anywhere close to what he should get as far as a starting pitcher. And we lit him up. So, yeah. Kyler says, I love the Angels, but at least the owner is happy, and another losing season, he is getting his money. Exactly. Rusty Shack says Artie will sell the team after the new labor contract. I hope it's before that. Bobby is not my name says, I am a Brewers fan, but I'm not trading. That cheater will go down as an all-time failure. Yeah, I think you're trading that. What player are you talking about is going as a cheater? I think, or if it's Otani, then I'm with you right there. Todd is Bauer wasn't blackballed. Would you have taken a shot on him if he wasn't? No, because he's a train wreck too. That's putting a train wreck upon a train wreck. That's not a good thing. He's got mental issues. Dynacle Dad says, I admire your dedication to continue to talk about this team. It's just so defeating that I've had to try and stop caring as much. That's the problem. I mean, look, it's one thing to lose casual fans. It really is. It sucks to lose casual fans. When you start losing your hardcore fans that have been there since day one, when you start losing your fans that have been there since the 70s and 80s and, can tell you some stories about great times at the Big A, that's when it becomes scary to me as a fan. When I see them jumping ship to the Dodgers, when I see them say, hey, you know what? I like this Brewers team because they play like a team. They can lose players every year and still put together a winner. They play small ball. They play the game the right way. I want to watch that team. When you go out and you change, teams, I used to be pissed at people when they did that. And I still do hate bandwagoners in a way. But when you have when your team, I always would go back to saying, well, if you're a grown up and you change teams, it better be because your team was, your city was disenfranchised, like you lost your team, or they moved or they were absorbed or whatever. That's the only what do you call it? The only excuse I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But man, it's hard to watch a team like this over and over. I used to wonder, man, how do the Pirates fans do it? And then they had a good run there, and then they just became ass again. But at least they have something to look forward to. They've got the opposite spectrum right now. They have a guy who was good 10 years ago in McCutchen. That's still their best hitter. None of their other power hitters have panned out. But they have exceptional starting pitching and a pretty good bullpen. And they're in baseball games. But fuck, they're hard to watch because they score less runs than we do. Yet they still swept the Dodgers. It's a catch-22 with that team. But with the Angels, they're just bad on both sides. And there's few and far between things that we could hang our hat on and say, man, I'm really psyched. Kyler says we should go after Alex Bregman. No, I think his game is over with. I'd rather get that Korean third baseman, get someone young in there who hits and who can get on base. Rusty Shack says, my dad and uncle split season tickets in the 1990s. I saw Nolan Ryan's last away game at the Big A. See, that's cool. That's great memories. Great memories. But those are becoming few and far between. Now it's like you go to the Big A. It's like today. Again, I walked to the stadium, parked outside, got the coolers for a friend that wanted some, and for me and my girl, and walked back out. And I was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna watch the Chargers game tonight." I'm not even a Charger fan, but I'm a season ticket holder. And this some nights, dude, I don't want to go, man. It's like I know something stupid's gonna happen. And I took tonight off and I feel great. I had a great dinner at home, watched a pretty good football game. I'm happy the Chargers beat the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs. And good things happen. And it's sad because again, we're all super fans. You're still talking Angels baseball this late in the season. So am I. You go to games, or you watch the games religiously, you listen to them, or you watch them on your phone. It's September and they're hopelessly out of it. Imagine where this team could be and the fan base could be if this team was in it. Because we imagined that in July, everyone had their hopes up, but not so much. Those days are long gone. And until it changes, man, it's a tough watch. That's why a lot of us are getting into football and we're like, hey man, just turn the page. We'll see what happens. For me, I've said this since the Angels, and as I wrap up here, I've said this since the Angels, um, started losing. I'd say after 2017, it was like 2017 or 18. Like it was a couple years when towards the end of Socia. I literally, I literally was like, hey, you know what? I can't wait for football season, and I would never say it before. I loved September because yeah, I'd watch football, but I'd watch it. I wouldn't be as hyped up as I would be because it's like, man, the Angels are right there. They're contending. They're this, they're that, but they've been progressively getting worse, and it's a shame. It's a shame because I do want to watch meaningful baseball. It just hasn't been. So I ranted a lot tonight. Tonight's show was crazy with my dad's injury. He's good now. I'm gonna go in there and check on him right now anyway, just a double check, but everything was good. Bobby says y'all could have traded Renifo to last year. Could have traded him 2 years ago. JG says I was at the Angels game hoping to see Trout 400. You'd probably wait till next year. Corey says I was reading that the Angels have linked two top free agents. I don't believe it. New ownership incoming. That's the only way it'll be for real. Paisa says going Monday, got the tickets a while back for the first time. I'm actually not looking forward to it. I'll see you there Monday. I know that for sure. I won't be there tomorrow. I thought I was going to be there tomorrow, but I have to help my niece out with some stuff. She's moving, so I had to take care of that. So I'll be wrapped up all day, probably too tired to go. I'm going to have some friends get get the bobbleheads for me. And then Sunday watching football. This team doesn't deserve my watch in person on a Sunday. Fuck no. And then, but I'll be at the Ohapi bowling event after my Seahawks game. I'll be right there talking to Neto, and I'm going to ask him some poignant questions about analytics. I'm going to record it and I'll play it here next week if I can get that. I'm gonna definitely, because there's some players that are going to be there that I'm going to interview. Do you see Neto and Logan coming back next season? Yes, they are under contract, so they'll be there. They've got about 3 or 4 years of control left for either one of them. Grillmaster's got a new picture right there. Did y'all hear about the incident that happened in Tri-City? Yeah, I did. Guy almost died, right? So I'm glad he made it, man, because again, that would be more bad luck for this Angels organization. Don't want to lose somebody like that. Yeah, Angel Stadium is going to be empty on Sunday, Corey. Absolutely empty. And it's their fault. Absolutely their fault, because I've been several times to Angel Stadium in September when football season starts on a Sunday. And there's a good amount of people there. It's not sold out, but you would have at least 25 to 30,000 fans there. But who's gonna watch them and the A's, dude? I mean, that is the worst possible thing. So $1 ticket for a team as bad as the Angels. Yeah, it's gotten to that. Hot weather and a terrible team is not a good combination. Especially that, J Dog. Where the hell do you sit when it's that hot, humid, and especially next week too when they're still on the homestand? It's going to be brutal. So we'll see what happens. Because I'll probably be there Monday, because for sure. Because I'm not a big Vikings or a Bears fan. That game's going to be boring. But I think the only reason why I'd be involved in it is I do have a couple players on my fantasy team, which I'm regretting getting back into fantasy. I took 2 years off of fantasy football, and guys at work were like, "Come on, man, you're into sports. You got to get into it. You got a podcast. Jump on." I'm like, "Oh, fine, fuck it." Now I'm regretting it because I just like watching football to watch football. I don't. That's why I got out of fantasy baseball, because it was like every day almost. You had to change lineups and stuff, and then it's like it takes the fun out of the game because I don't care about Miami Marlins, who's on there, who's one of their players. It's just, I don't know, got tired of it. But all right, everybody, have a good rest of your night. This was an interesting show. It was mostly just me rambling, so I thank you for all those that care. If you're going to come down to the Ohapi bowling event, there's going to be several players there. It's in Fountain Valley. Starts at 4:30 on Sunday. Hopefully, after my Seahawks beat Dominique's 49ers, I can rub it in his face and then kick the Locked On Cox asses that are there. They're going to be there too. They're going to be bowling. They're going to have a team. So I hope that our team can whoop their ass on Sunday. That would be awesome. All right, everybody, have a good rest of your night. Angels lose. Angels lose. Yeah, CMC out again. Is Mike Trout playing for the 49ers? Because is CMC the same kind of guy? Or have we seen them in the same room at the same time? Because I could swear they're the same guy. All right, everybody, have a good night.